Now, the time has come for the Godfather of Dance, Mr. Ian Waite. Mr. Ian Waite is here, everybody. We don't need to panic anymore. Now, before we scrutinise this... Oh, check out the outfit. I love those stripes.
Thanks very much,
very nice. And
very,
an autumnal leaf on your top. Beautiful.
Yes.
First of all, before we scrutinise the training this week, who was up there for you last weekend?
I really loved Jay and Aliona last week. I loved his hands and the grace and the quality of movement. It was absolutely wonderful. And also Katie. Loved Katie.
And Anton O'Dango.
Loved her. At moments I thought she was air in Vogue.
Really, she is that good.
She looked
that
beautiful.
Good. Now, we're all getting very overexcited about Theme Week, obviously off to the pictures this weekend. So we're going to kick off with Jay, who is going all Pulp Fiction on us with their jive. How's he looking?
Well, as you can see, he's got a lovely bounce action.
Yeah.
Albeit in those shorts, you know. They're lovely and give them a little bit of, you know, air. I should imagine when you get practice, you get a little bit hot. But
have you got to get funny? I think you've got to be funny over watching Jay. OK.
But what I wanted to point out, and let me just get my wand out.
Oh, it's here. Oh, we can relax. It's such a beauty. OK.
OK, so I'm around this area, the face, as you can see. He's got a little bit of a grimace on his face, but I would say this is a good start, because with Jay, I find he's got the lovely grace and he's got the lovely elegance, but what he doesn't do is come out in his face, so he needs to be a little bit more expressive. So I want to see him, with the jive especially, you've got to be out there to the audience. The other thing that I want to point out is his flicks and kicks. He tends to flick them out too much rather than keeping them contained, picking up the knee and sort of flicking them down towards the floor rather than flicking them out. OK. Because he's got quite long legs, you see. If he flicks them out, then they won't...
for them to go.
It's a bit like you, dear.
Looking good. OK, and you can talk. Kelly and Kevin, last week, again, brilliant. They will be feeling the force this week with a Star Wars theme. Do you reckon he's going full Chewie? Is Kevin going full Chewie? OK.
Well, at the beginning there, I did see some cane work, but I presume that's going to be lightsabers.
I can't do lightsaber noise. Yeah, OK.
But as you can see, lovely in synchronisation, and I paused it here, though, because you can actually see how close in symmetry they are. Their arms are exactly the same, the legs are exactly the same. Turned out, I'm loving the fact that they are so in sync at this moment in time. I think they're a really good couple. They're really gelled together. This is going to be a corker. Yeah. OK, let's talk about Jamelia and Tristan, safe from the dance-off last week, and this week they have a salsa to Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, which is from Charlie's Angels. You think this dance is going to be good for her? Well, the cha-cha last week, it wasn't very good technically, because this is a very technical dance, lots of straight legs and stuff like that. Whereas the salsa's not such a technical dance, and it's all about rhythm. And I think this girl's got lots of rhythm. So I think, actually, Jamelia would be great in this dance, because it's all about just shaking your booty and keeping it rhythmical all the way through. And not so much attention to the actual technique, so it's good for her. OK, brilliant. Now, Helen and Aliash are dancing to I Want to Be Loved by You, for one of my favourite films ever. Some like it hot. I imagine she's going to be dressed like Marilyn. The judge is giving her a bit of a hard time about needing to loosen up. Obviously, she's done ballet and she's kind of used to a certain frame. What do you think? You can see sometimes she has a bit too straight legs, and just seeing there, she was just doing a weave, and she needs to soften into those knees as she does the weave. As you can see here, she's going into a contra check. Now, I'm going to do that with you, though. OK, all right. So I'm going to get hold of you. Soften in the knees. Get hold of me. Help yourself. Soften in the knee. Now, take that right foot back. Right foot back. That's it. Lunge back and stop. OK, now, now, you're in quite a good position, because, I'll tell you why, you've got your hips up, you've got your hips underneath, and you've got the flower in the vase out to the left. Is it beautiful? Is it a sight to behold? Yeah. Very good. Get me now, out of that position. All right, dear. Don't over-egg it. Thanks. And as you can see, Helen's just slightly dropped her hip line as she's gone into that contra check, and she needs to get more out into his arm to create the... Can I say, it's not comfortable holding that position like that. OK, we're going to move on to Anthony and Oti. They have a Rocky theme. Eye of the Tiger. He's a boxer. Very good. And it's a paso doble. What would your main concerns be for Anthony? Well, looking at it here, it looks a little bit soft in approach. And we know with the paso doble, it's very attacking, it's very strong and intense. So there's a few points to start from his feet and then upwards. So feet and legs, he's got to do nice, strong heel heel leads, and he's got to have nice straight legs. Going into the hips, he's got to keep them under to shape the whole body, to create that sort of curve in the body. His arms must be shaped all the time. Here he's just like a loose arm, but he's got to create that shape all the time, so that he's got nice big round circles, which is more the flamenco dancer. And then the intense look. And he's got quite an intense look there. You can see it in the mirror.
Yeah,
he's looking at Oti, and I think he can do that because he's a boxer, so he should have that intense look.
OK, I think this could work
when
for
he's
him.
sizing up with the other boxers. You know what I mean?
Peter's listening very intently to the passo tips at the back there. He's taking notes. OK, Kirsty and Brendan had a much better week last week. Are you seeing great improvement in Kirsty out on the dance?
Well, I think every week she gets better because she's not so nervous. Yeah. I think in the first week she looked a bit stiff, and I think the nerves made her almost paralysed her. In here, they're just sort of walking through the beginning of the step, but I wanted to stop it here.
This is American Smooth, by the way.
American Smooth. They're just about to go into dance together. Now she is on the right side of him, which is lovely, in the right position. But what she's doing is she's not looking out towards the left. She's looking over his left shoulder out to the right for her. Now, what that will do is that will open up her right-hand side. So she'll dance her right-hand side away, which is not good. She needs to take her head left, look over his right shoulder, and then her right side will come up to him. I know it's very technical, but
we know what you mean. We do. Yeah, we do understand that. OK, and finally, Daniel and Christina. He's being Danny Zuko. Need we say any more? But how's he looking in his style? Because this is going to be a cha-cha. Is this good?
Yeah, I think. Well. Yes, I was going to say yes, but there's a...
You changed your mind?
He needs to look at his footwork, because he's got a bounce in there, which would be great in jive, but in cha-cha-cha you need to keep it very flat with straight legs.
Could that be a hangover from the Charleston last week?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. He needs to straighten those knees in the cha-cha-cha, get his heels down, which he's got there, which is not too bad, turn the foot out, but he needs to keep the back foot on the floor. As you can see, he's lifting the back foot. He needs to keep it down on the floor. OK,
I know, because he did his little Irish dancing bit. Yeah. His heels on the floor, and they're like, pick your feet up. Now he's got to have them back down again.
I think he's still doing that now.
I know, but Christina, she works very hard on technique, so I imagine that...
Yeah, I think she'll get it sorted by Saturday.
OK, will you come back and see us tomorrow?
It's a pleasure.
Second helping.
Absolutely.
Ian Waite, everybody. Isn't it gorgeous? Aren't we lucky to have him? Now, last week, they begged us